welcome back to the channel. You already know what it is. It's Tom from Wrench-a-holics, and today we're gonna go over to my homie's house because we'll be working on his car today and not mine. We're gonna be doing two installs, C short shifter and GK Tech return spring. So hope all goes well. I see you when I get there. So we're gonna switch out my homie's shifter for a C's short shifter. So basically what you gotta do is remove your center console and shift boot housing right here. So that, alright, boom. And then you gotta get access to your shifter. So it's 4 screws that hold down the lock ring and snap ring to remove the actual shifter. So we're gonna do that right now. Now, alright, so once you take the 4 screws out that hold down the hold down ring, you're going to expose the actual shifter itself. I really need to invest in some power tools because it gets kind of monotonous, but it works, so no complaints. A total of 6 screws, so there's 2 up top, 2 on the sides right here, and then 2 on the back, which are these guys right here by the armrest. So remove that, and then you should be able to take off the center console. And then from there, again, the 4 screws that hold down the metal lockdown plate, which is this guy. So go ahead and remove that. Remove the rubber boot that exposes the shifter itself. There is a C clamp or a C clip here that holds down the shifter, so you got to remove that in order to lift up the shifter. So we're gonna go ahead and do that right now. Alright, so if most of you guys are doing this for the first time, it's always a nice thing to do to look at this shifter rubber insulator right here. Normally it gets cracked over time. My homie's rubber insulator is actually, I think, cracked, so we're gonna see if we can replace that. Pretty much all it does is it just keeps the transmission fluid inside instead of coming out, but it's not really an issue if you don't have one. So in order to expose the snap ring, you gotta, we already took it out, but you pretty much flip the insulating rubber up like so. This snap ring right here is gonna be inside like so. And then all you gotta do is get your snap ring remover. This is a tool you really need, or else it's gonna be hard to do this. You just remove the snap ring, you compress it and pull it out. That pretty much holds down the whole unit. So once it's removed, you just actually pull up, and that's it. So from there, we're gonna go and put together the C short shifter and go from there.
Do you want to explain it?
Oh yeah, I will. So this right here is the C short shifter unit. It comes just like this out the package. So what it does basically is it shortens the throw when you shift through your gears. Obviously if you guys have the OEM one, you already know that shifting through your gears, it's like shifting a semi-truck. So we're getting rid of that by putting the C short shifter, and that's how we're going to do it. So this is the unit. Since we already have it out, we're going to go ahead and upgrade the bushing, which a lot of people don't do, from the plastic one to this Circuit Sports brass one, which is going to make that shifter feel really solid. So we're going to go do that right now. And, I need some. So it's going to put some grease on there. It's going to be moving some lithium, so we can just do that. You don't really need to drench it. Here it is. Boom. And pop it on. You'll hear it click. There you go. So this actually is a good upgrade because it lasts longer than obviously the plastic one. So once you do this, you really don't have to change it out. I mean, it's a good solid unit. Alright, so once you got the brass bushing on there, you're pretty much good to go as far as the shifter unit goes. Now we have to mess with the hold down or the lockdown ring for the shifter itself. you don't have to actually take the whole shifter plate out. That's the cool thing about the shifter. If you get a B&M one like I do, you have to actually go down and remove the 6 bolts that hold down the shifter itself. Once you change out that entire unit, then you just drop down the B&M and you're good to go. But we're using the C's, so we're going to use the OEM shifter plate, which is a cool thing, makes install super easy and super quick. Only thing that we're missing here, which most people will probably come to have this issue when you get like the C's or the Tomei style, is the spacer that goes in between the hold down plate and the shifter, is that little spacer. So we stacked some C-rings and they're pretty good. There's not there's not a lot of play, so it works for us. If you want, you can machine it. A lot of people will end up doing that anyway, but these work just as fine. So we're gonna do that today. And while we're at it, we're going to do the return springs on the transmission. This is by GK Tech. So all it does is stiffens up the shifter. So when you go through your gears, you can actually feel the shifting, and it's not sloppy as the OEM one. So we're going to be doing that. So into the car. So we got the short shifter in. Pretty much all you got to do is line up that bushing with the shifter linkage that's inside the transmission. If you have that washer that comes with it, it would be in this position right here, but since we're using the stack C clips, they work just fine. Again, you can machine it, but pretty much all it is, it just holds down the shifter using this housing here. So this little contraption basically goes over, and these little hooks right here hook onto the groove that's on the shifter plate. So you'll see there's a little groove right here that basically just locks into the groove, and then you lock it using the supplied 10mm bolts, and your install is done. So I'm gonna go do that right now and show you the finished product, and onto the return springs, and then tighten it, and you're good to go. So let's do that.
So now, we'll lock it in position, we'll do it like that. Yeah, I really need to invest in like power. You know what I'm saying?
Cool, so now once you lock it in, you don't really have to go ham on it. Again, these parts aren't moving, so you don't want to over torque it. What happens, you'll end up stripping it. So there it is, completed. Perfect. Now we're gonna move down to the return springs. So yeah, that should give this a better feel as far as shifting goes, and we should be good to go. Halfway there. When you shift through the gears, I mean, obviously you can really tell that the length of the throw is super short as far as this goes compared to the OE one. So that's obviously why you want to upgrade to a short shifter. It just has a better feel, and shifting through your gears, I mean, obviously it's going to be quick since the throw is short. So there it is. Quality, guys. C short shifter. So new bolts to hold down the spring, and 3 different spring sizes as far as the stiffness of the spring goes. So there it is, GK Tech. Again, I think we got this off of I know that, FR Sports. So here it is. And bam. Alright, out the package we got 2 new bolts, and here are the springs. Pretty much they vary as far as stiffness goes, so based on how you want your shifter to feel, you're gonna choose what spring you want. So I'm pretty sure my homie wants to go with these ones, the stiffest springs as possible, so we're gonna go ahead and go with these ones. I just know them. So these are the stiffest springs in the set, so we're gonna go ahead and put that in. It's pretty simple. So all you gotta do when you reach your transmission, there's gonna be 2 bolts opposing each other. You remove those bolts, and then whatever's inside will come out. It's a spring as well. And then obviously with the unit, you're going to replace the bolt and the spring. So again, reverse process. You remove the bolt, spring pops out, you insert your new spring and put your bolt down, and that's what holds the spring in the transmission. So the lockdown bolt for the springs, the return springs on the transmission, you can see it from the top. So just for orientation purposes, it's right there, that guy. So again, one bolt is here, and then if you were basically to draw a line straight across, the other bolt will be right across on the opposite side of the transmission. So there it is. Obviously we got to access it through the bottom, so we're going to do that right now. I might not be able to get footage on it just because it's super tight down there and the camera is on the tripod. So that's pretty much it. So remove that bolt, spring pops out, put the spring supplied in the package that you want. Again, there's 3 spring rates, so it's like soft, medium, and hard. Put the spring in, put your new bolt down, lock it up, and you're good to go. So there it is from the bottom of the car. That is the bolt that you have to remove, and again, directly opposite of that is the other bolt. So if you're doing this from the bottom of the car, it's going to be kind of hard, but it can be done. Once you release that spring, there's a little bit of tranny fluid that's going to be coming out, so just be prepared for some fluid to come out. But yeah, once you remove that nut right there, or that bolt I should say, the spring will be inside. You remove the spring, replace the spring, and then you put your new hardware in from GK Tech, and you should be good to go. As you can see, it's already starting to leak out, so we're going to try to make this quick, just so I don't make a mess on the garage. But there it is, and I'll show you the finished product when I'm all done. Alright, so that is what it looks like when you remove the bolt. That is the new spring. We're going to stack springs, so I'm going to put that one right there and put the stiffer spring over it. So pretty much once you do that, then you just bolt it down and you're good to go on one side, and then you do same thing on the other side. Alright, so there is the brand new hardware. Springs are intact, so there's one right there, and then obviously on the other side, it's right there. I don't want to cover the light, you'll see it. So there it is, that really defined black bolt. That is the new hardware. So there and there. So we're gonna go give it a little test drive and see how this thing feels, and we're all good to go. But it doesn't really leak out as I thought it would. It just like literally it seeps out, so just get some shop rags and be prepared. But once it comes out, you just wipe it up and you're good to go. It's not a consistent leak, so no issues. You don't need to have like a drip pan or anything like that. So there it is, GK Tech return springs, and as well as the C short shifter upgrade. The center console's back. We put the shifter trim back. Pretty much put the shifter and all that together, the shift knob, and we're gonna go give it a test drive. Dang, Power FC gang, look at that. Yeah, I just did his too, so he's all good to go with the Power FC, so look at that. Oh, with the OEM Sylvia. Alright, how's that shifter feel?
Feels nice.
Nice. Open and boost. Oh shit. Nice, bro.
You don't have that much slack anymore.
No slack? Nice. Well, there you guys have it. GK Tech return springs and a C short shifter upgrade. I'm telling you guys, it's like one of the best things you can do. Thanks again for PD Pops. Say what's up, bro. Thank you for letting me work on the whip and put out some content for you guys on the Wrench-a-holics. Alright guys, take it easy. That's it for the video. Again, we did the GK Tech return spring upgrade and also the C short shifter upgrade on my homie PD's car. Thanks for watching, guys, and if you haven't subscribed, go ahead. You already watched the end of the video. I come out with the same kind of content, DIY guides on how to do installs on the 240. Don't forget to stop by my store, savageones.bigcartel.com. Again, that's savageones.bigcartel.com. And as always, hype is for the moment and style is forever. Deuces.